Hey guys, and welcome back to my Red Dead Redemption 2 tips and tricks series. In this video I have 50 huge tips and tricks that are going to really help out your gameplay in this game. I thought instead of making lots of different shorter videos showing tips and tricks, I wanted to make just one big long episode and pack it full of all of the best tips for you guys. So let's get started. First up, if you find yourself in an elevated position, such as a rooftop or a balcony, you can actually jump onto your horse from a height and you will actually do an air mount on top of your horse. You can set multiple markers on the map by pressing in the left thumbstick. It's a nice way to remember if you find a hidden area or somewhere you might want to come back and explore later. It's a nice way to be able to mark these locations on your map. Just like in real life, you can actually tell the temperament of horses based upon their ears. It's a really nice little detail from Rockstar here. So the horses that have their ears straight up means that they are friendly and they're not going to kick you, whereas the horses with their ears back means they're quite dangerous. Credit to Mr. Farter for this tip. Nice name, by the way. If you get the weapon wrap customization on your rifles, it's actually going to decrease their deterioration rate. You can do quick draws at any time in the game, not just in duels, so just lightly hold the right trigger until the bar fills and then you'll go into Deadeye. You can use gunsmiths to customize what weapons you're going to be carrying in your arsenal, so when you get off your horse, quite a few times I found myself getting off my horse and having no weapons, and I'm only left with my pistols, which can be quite annoying if I'm trying to hunt something, or I come across some enemies and I realise all my weapons are still on my horse. I do sometimes find that there are some instances that reset my weapons, such as some missions. I find myself having to go back to a gunsmith and customizing them again. You can use the gunsmith to clean your weapons for you. If you guys didn't already know, if you don't clean your weapons regularly, they will actually lose their effectiveness over time, so you need gun oil to maintain them. So whenever you visit a gunsmith, it's worth getting all your weapons cleaned for you. I believe it also works out cheaper than the price of gun oil to do it yourself, and also saves you the long cleaning animation. Something that a lot of people miss is looting other people's horses. So enemies' horses will always have 2 saddlebags that you can loot on either side of it. If the enemy horse happens to be dead, you can still actually loot the saddlebags from the ground. You can actually do donuts on your horse by spinning the left analog stick and tapping A on Xbox or X on PlayStation. It's also pretty handy if you need to quickly change directions or do a 180 turn. I feel like I mostly do it because it looks cool though. In the crafting menu at a campfire, you can actually season your food by pressing right or left on the D-pad. This will give your food additional benefits over just cooking it normally, such as greatly restoring all of your cores. Don't forget to do your chores at the camp. They'll be marked on your map with black dots. These chores will not only increase morale at your camp, but also give you Deadeye experience and increase your karma. The chores include chopping wood, carrying hay to feed the horses, carrying grain sacks to Pearson's wagon, and also filling the water buckets. If you punch someone with the lasso equipped, you'll instantly tackle and hog tie them. If you do accidentally bump into someone in a town or commit a small crime, if you run away, this will give you a bounty for doing so. But what you can do is actually just stay and apologise to a lawman and they'll let you go free to go and you won't have a bounty. There's a few different types of whistles in Red Dead Redemption 2, so tapping on the D-pad once will get your horse to come as most people use it. But tapping up 2 or 3 times will actually make your horse come to you faster. Having a higher level bond with your horse will also increase the distance that it will come to you with speed. And holding up on the D-pad will do a longer whistle, instructing your horse to follow you. While exploring in Red Dead Redemption 2, you may encounter a random event where a stranger will throw you off your horse and steal it. You can actually counter this by whistling on your horse while it's in range, and your horse will throw the stranger off the back of it. Thanks to 0MP for this awesome trick. Premium cigarette packs will usually have cards in them when you pick them up, which is a collectible item. Now the maximum you can hold of premium cigarettes are 20, so make sure that you regularly smoke them or discard them to collect the cards so that you can keep on collecting the premium cigarette packs. I actually only discovered this one recently, so I probably missed out on quite a few cigarette packs since I had the maximum. If you haven't already, purchase the high-end stirrups as it will increase your horse's speed and acceleration by 2 points. You can actually control what side you get off your horse. Just hold the left analog stick in a direction that you want to get off, and you'll actually hop off your horse in that side. Your hunter vision isn't only useful for hunting, it's also super useful when you're looting houses or looting camps, because it will actually highlight anything you can loot or interact with. So any lockboxes or cupboards that you might have otherwise missed will be glowing in this hunter vision so you can easily find them. Make sure you always hitch your horse. It's useful for a few reasons. First of all, it replenishes your horse's health and stamina, and also prevents NPCs from stealing your horse if it isn't hitched. If you didn't already know, you can hitch your horse to pretty much any tree around the game. While aiming down your sights, you can use left on the D-pad to switch shoulder aims. If you activate Deadeye while reloading, this will skip the reload animation. In Red Dead Redemption 2, the most efficient way to use your stamina for running isn't actually to mash the sprint button. It's actually better to time the rhythm of pressing the sprint button with your movement. This applies both to being on horseback and running on foot, so instead of just mashing the A or X button, think of just tapping it in a consistent rhythm along with the timing of your horse's gallop. What this is going to do is it's going to conserve your stamina and use it more efficiently. You can press Y on Xbox or triangle on PlayStation at any time to rest when you're on foot. This will increase your stamina and also allow you to quickly craft without needing a fire. If you tap left on the D-pad at any time, it's going to display a full task list including your challenges. Holding left on the D-pad is going to bring up your journal where you document certain aspects of your gameplay. You can hold down on the D-pad at any time, and this will allow you to quickly change your radar options on the fly. You can switch between compass, expanded, regular, or even completely off if you want more immersion. Personally, I like the expanded one because I like to see more of my surroundings. Always make sure you're carrying a horse revive. You can buy these at stables. If your horse dies and is unable to be revived, what you can do is immediately close the game application. If you have autosave turned on, you can load back into your last autosave and get to keep your horse back alive. You might just lose a bit of your last progress, but if you're riding a rare horse or one that you don't want to lose your level 4 bond with, it probably is worth losing a little bit of progress to keep your mount. You should hunt as many of the legendary animals as you can towards the beginning of the game. You can use them to craft trinkets and talismans at fences that will give you permanent boosts, such as making your Deadeye drain slower, or giving you higher quality parts when skinning animals. If you're in a shop or in a menu that's several layers deep, instead of pressing B a bunch of times to exit each layer of menu, what you can do is just hold B and that will let you instantly return to gameplay. It's just a nice trick for being able to get out stores quicker. If you want to quickly access your map in one button press, just simply hold the start button. This is going to open your map up right away without having to go through the hassle of opening the menu, then clicking map, and then having to press back twice to exit that map. If you have a gun in your hand, you can hit up on the D-pad to shoot into the air. This can be used to intimidate witnesses or even scare predators away. If you have a long journey ahead of you, you can hold the touchpad on the PS4 or the select button on Xbox to open the cinematic camera. This is going to keep your horse either walking or running depending on how you were riding at the moment you activated the cinematic camera. This is nice because you don't even need to touch your controller and your character will automatically ride to your waypoint destination. The fastest way to loot areas is to hold X instead of pressing it individually to loot each item. By holding X, your character will just continuously open drawers in front of him and loot items. Don't be afraid to swap your current weapon for any new ones you find from dead enemies. Even though you're going to drop your gun on the ground to switch it, you can actually get these weapons again from your saddle. When you're selling a carcass or pelts stored on your horse, you don't actually have to physically carry the carcass from your horse to the butcher or the trapper. You just have to have your horse close by and it'll let you sell it directly from your horse. Some of the cliffs around the world will actually allow you to sit on them. You just need to walk up to specific ledges that allow you to do this, and you can sit on the end of it and take in the breathtaking scenery. Thanks to CW Go Skins for this tip. If you double tap L1 on PlayStation or LB on Xbox, you'll do a pretty cool trick before you holster your weapon. I believe this only works with your pistol. I tried a few different weapons and it was only the pistol that does the nice spin. You can store multiple different outfits on your horse. You can choose your saved outfits at your camp, and then when you're out and about on your horse, you can quickly switch between your saved outfits. The great thing about this is you can do this while you're actually on your horse, so if you're riding into the snowy cold region, you can switch to your winter clothes very easily. If you have a bounty on your head in a certain region, what you can do is change your clothes and make it harder for the law to recognize you. If you find yourself stranded without your horse, you can hitch a ride from NPC carriages by requesting them. They'll take you along with them on their journey, and then you can bail out at any point. If you want to pick up specific items, it can be quite useful to switch to first person mode. It's a lot easier to aim at small objects when you're in first person mode and actually control which ones you're going to be picking up. While in first person mode, you can press the right thumbstick in to do a quick 180 turn. When you're drinking, you can actually hold R2 or right trigger to chug your beer. You can equip a pocket watch from your satchel and use it to check the time directly from your weapon wheel. It's going to appear in the same slot as your binocular slot. If you find a blind man begging for money, you can test to see if they're lying or not by aiming a weapon at them. It sounds a little bit cruel, but if they react to you aiming a weapon at them, you'll actually catch them lying, because obviously they won't be able to see you aiming a gun at them if they're blind. So if you're considering giving any of these men money, make sure they're actually telling the truth before you donate to them. You can make special ammo types by buying the recipes at fences, and make sure you also read the recipe so you learn how to make them next time you're in the crafting menu. If you want to be a friendly outlaw, you can go around and greet NPCs. This is actually going to raise your honour. And the last tip I have for you guys in this video: if you come across a random encounter with a prisoner who asks you to break his shackles, what you can do is shoot his shackles and he'll give you a tip off with a robbery location, and then you can actually hog tie him and take him back to the sheriff's office for an additional payment. You kind of get the best of both worlds. So that was 50 of my tips and tricks for Red Dead Redemption 2. This video did take quite a while to make, so if you did learn anything new, I'd really appreciate if you could leave the video a like. It really helps support the channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new around here, so you don't miss any future tips and tricks videos. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.